Auction says.
Քո մեր արթունս Քո Երուսաղեմ։
Երուսաղեմ շիրյան որպես քաղաք եւ նագունքույրու շուրջը զովա
Անկելանային ասկրտիարը Իբգային Իսրայելի Ովտովան դիներ անվան յարը
անգյալն արգոր Կադաստանի անգորսարյանեն իդան ապքի
Հարցեք ծողքն է Երուսաղեմի և շինուկտեն է ույթ սիրեկս դեր
Եղիցի խաղություն իզորուպյանքուն և շինություն աշտարակս մակնս ով
Վասն և բարձ և ունգերացի ոտ ոսեցած խաղություն Վասն քոր և վասն դիարն աստուծում երով Ընտրեցակս պատուսնիկ են
Դուք զորություն ծարավի գող Եծոզովկյանակ նոքով և արա արիս նշան պարուպյան
Դեսել ալևիքին և ամաչեսել Զիտու դեր ողնեցեր ինձ և մխիտարեցեր զիս
Արքոր և ովքոր և ովքիշն ով
Այժմ և միշտ և հավիքյանց հավիենից ամեն
Kidem este vzva Ձայնս ևս բաղնեից ատելայսը, և ձայնին ունրվիցե, և եղիցին մի հոտ և մի
Աստվածվեր, Սուրբ խաչիվս հաճես ու կզներ, Սիսովհավ վրգեսես մեզ մեղած և գեցես շնորի գոյնուչանյուրո ամենագան ձեր Աստվածվեր գեցոյ խորմյա։
Պահպանիչ և հույս հավատացելով Քրիստոս Աստվածվեր, պահպանյա և խորմյա, զասկս հայոց, եկեղեցիս Հայաստանյայց, Եվս հավատացյալ ողուս օր, ընկվանյալ սուր և պատվական աչիվ կողաղության, բրգյա երևելի և աներելույթ տիշկամբուն, արժանավորյալ ողության հարավորելս կեզ, ընկով և ընկովույս սրբով, աշր և միշտ և ալիքյալս, ավիդենից ամեն։
Before inviting His Holiness to address to us, I will tell something that nobody knew and knows. Right now, in front of our church, a young lady named Tammy presented a bouquet of flowers to His Holiness. Exactly 112 years ago, her great-grandmother presented the flowers to Hrashapar when he, for the first time, visited in Cilicia in Aitam. This is a sign, and beautiful sign, that we are a living nation. Despite of all tribulations, despite the genocide, we are here, and this young lady is the testimony of our survival.
But I would like to share with you briefly some of the thoughts pertaining to this sentence. Church, nation, engage. What is the church? What does it mean to be a church? What does it mean to be part of the church? Well, let me just underscore the fact that the church is the people of God. The church is indeed a community. The church may have, and in fact should have, institutional manifestations in time and space. But we should not identify the church's expression with its very essence. The church is the missionary reality. The church as the community is a mission. The essence and the raison d'etre of the church is a mission sent by God in Jesus Christ. Therefore, we should avoid, by all means, having a static, institutional perception of the church. The church is a growing community. The church is a missionary outreach. That is the meaning of the church. And this has been our church in our history and today. The church is not a place where we go from time to time. The church is the presence of God in Jesus Christ, and therefore we must live it and we must manifest the church as a missionary reality in our own life, in our individual and collective life. Nation. What does it mean to be a nation? The nation has different connotations: political, economic, cultural, ethnic. But in our case, all these dimensions and manifestations of the nation come together. We are a nation. We are not just a community in the ordinary sense of the word. We are a nation with our specific cultural, ethnic identity. We are a nation having a homeland, a centuries-old homeland. And all these factors bring us together. They are the source of our togetherness. We are a nation which has a long history. We are a nation with our own identity, and we are part of the international community, and we have our own distinct place and role within the context of the international community. And the sentence we also read, your church, your nation. And this is very important. That means that this church is, of course, is Christ's church. All the churches of the world belong to Christ. They are the living presence of Christ. The church is the mystical body of Jesus Christ. But as people of God, we must identify ourselves with the church. And the Armenian church, in the course of our history, has become a living reality in the life of our people. Through the church, we have manifested the gospel values. Through the church, we have incarnated in our own life Christian faith. And really our church became our church. That identification between our people and the church was so close, so intimate, that any kind of evil in this world was able to take us away from the church, to destroy this faith in the life of our people. You should remember when the attempt was made in 5th century to destroy the Christian faith in the life of our church, our people, and our nation, with one voice said, from this faith no one can shake us. Our church and our nation, your church. Again, we are parts of this nation. We are integral, indestructible, unalienable parts of one nation. Whether we are in America, in Lebanon, in Armenia, and in different parts of this globe, we belong to each other. We are one nation, and the history was not able to destroy the belonging of all Armenians to one nation, to this inner, God-given oneness of our nation. In our life, due to historical circumstances, we had Armenian Orthodox, Armenian Catholic, and Armenian Evangelical churches. But all these churches belong to one Armenian Christian roots. They share one common Armenian tradition, Christian values. This oneness and this firm belonging to one Christianity, one Christian heritage, to one Christian nation must remain firm, intact in the life of our people. And this brings me to last word, engage. This is the calling of the gospel. Missionary engagement, our faithfulness, engage. Being part of a church, being part of a nation means we have to engage ourselves, our lives, through our reflection, action. We have to be part of this broader community that we call church, the nation. Engage. Engagement means that we should say no to any kind of approaches, mentalities, perceptions that make us passive, indifferent. I cannot imagine an Armenian life which is not an engaged life. We must involve ourselves with the profound sense of faithfulness. We have to engage ourselves with this firm commitment to our church and to our nation. Of course, this is not easy. This implies faithfulness, the sense of responsibility. It's a challenge. And the people, serious people, cannot live without challenge. The challenge is a wake-up call. And this sentence, in a sense, is a wake-up call to all of us. We must consider our church as our church, our nation as our nation, not in the formal, superficial, or emotional sense of the word, but deeply, consciously, a conscious awareness in respect to our belonging to our church and nation. Engage. This is the message today, my message. Engage. Let us engage ourselves in the life and in the mission of the church. Let us engage ourselves in the life of our nation. Let us engage ourselves in the life of the American society. Because we belong to this society. You're all Americans, but of Armenian origin. We are part of this society, integral, inseparable part of this society. We should never consider ourselves as people on the periphery, on the margin of American society. We should say no to any form of marginalization. Engagement, also in American society. We have our rights and responsibilities. Wherever the Armenians have gone, they have first thought about their responsibilities, and then, and only then, about their rights. Responsibility implies rights. And in this country, as I said, we are part of American society, having our rights and responsibilities. And we should continue with this sense of engagement, a responsible, committed, conscious, active engagement in the life of this society. This is the message. This is the message that I want to share with you. Ես այս արիթով գուզեմ անգամ եւս հիշեցնել մեր ժողովրդի զավակները, որ փոլորվին մեր եկեղեցու շուրջ։ Այս եկեղեցին ծեր եկեղեցի։ Ծեր հայրերը շինեցին այս եկեղեցին։ Այս եկեղեցին ծեր դումը դարձավ, հոգևոր դումը, Աստուծո դումը։ Եվ Աստված մեզ կկանչի այս համայնքի մեջ, Աստված այս համայնքի ջանքով գխոսի մեզ հետ։ Մենք պատրաստ ենք լսելու Աստված։ Աստված մեր հայրերուն հետ խոսեցավ պատմության ընթացքին։ Այսօր եւս Աստված մեզ հետ խոսի։ Այս դունը Աստուծո դունն է, մեր ազգին դունն է, եւ այս տանվեջ քտրություն չկա։ Աստուծո առջև չի քդիր, ինչպես կսե Ավետարանը չի քդիր, եւ մենք այս ոգիով, սիրով, հավատքով, հույսով իրարու հետ շաղախված պետք է շարունակենք մեր կյանքը ապրիլ եկեղեցու մեջ Աստված հարանավելով։ Եկեղեցու մեջը լալ կնշանակե մեր հավատքը զորացնել։ Եկեղեցու կյանքի մասնակցիլ կնշանակե մեր հավատարմությունը ամրապնդել։ Գաղութեմ, որ Աստված մեր ժողովրդի բոլոր զավակները հերու բահե ամեն տեսակ չարերը ու չարիքները, որոնք այսօրվան աշխարհի մեջ տեսանելի եւ անդեսանելի դերբով շրջակային մեր շուրջը, հերու ամեն տեսակ չարիքները։ Գաղութեմ Աստված, որ մեր ժողովրդի բոլոր զավակներում, բոլոր ընտանիքներում ներկա թե բացակա բարգեւե առողջություն, փորձոց հաջողություն եւ երկար կյանք, այժմ եւ միշտ եւ ավիտյանս ավիտենից ամեն։
Երկարավետն է, Սուպան Սիրգեցովն է, Երապնամն է, ամեն դեղի կողմիլն է, Անդին ճոճանից Անիդա ռոպենում շերեն ադանուն Համար Ուրը մեր նգարի ճուր է Մեր նգարի ճուր է Եգուն ունջանեք Եգուն Ոսկենեք վերը գեցեք մեկար Դա պարինքովը գեցեք ասա Ունալում գեցեք Նայստան բեցին Նգար բեցին Pavlik. Religious clash in this church. Religious. The worst one.
Does this have an automatic flash button?
I don't think so. It's not built in. They're usually like this. Oh, I don't see that. church? I'm praying for you guys. Okay. I'm under orders too.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the walls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Amen, ein Del Mahamir, Matviat Kamid Merdi, Parserani, Voyuraski, Azaduchan, Vezovi, Parserani, Voyuraski, Azaduchan, Vezovi.
It's a great honor tonight for this historic event, the pontifical visit of His Holiness Catholicos Aram I from the Great House of Cilicia. As we watch the centennial activities in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere, we heard Aram Hrashapar's message loud and clear. Cheap reconciliation promotes further injustice, rather true reconciliation promotes accountability. Today we heard Aram Hrashapar's message, your church, your nation engage. We have a lot of work to do to engage with our youth, and we should lead by example. I want to thank Dearborn and the local committee for supporting this and all the hard work that has gone into having this event, as well as the Armenian Apostolic Church of America, the policy executive councils and religious councils for making this a reality in 2015. We have a very short program. At this time, I would like to invite Ronald Haddad, Chief Police of the City of Dearborn, to the podium.
What a great night at St. Sarkis. Give yourselves a great hand, please. I'm going to be brief, but His Holiness, I think there's something I should have to say here. You know, I go all over the country talking about community involvement, about tolerance, about equality, about equity, and nothing serves a greater example than what we have here at St. Sarkis and at this campus with the rest of the churches and the mosque. And I have to tell you that this is something that Dearborn and this community should not take for granted, because they fly me all over the country and convince other people to do what you've done here. So you are truly a model for the nation. Give yourselves a hand. And I won't get into great detail, but anytime there's a national security issue that we have, the pastors from here and the other churches and the mosque, I can call them in a moment. They come to the police station. We get their advice. We take their counsel. We make our phone calls, and the world becomes a safer place. So with that, I'm very proud of St. Sarkis. His Holiness, I got a small token of appreciation for your visit. My mayor, Jack B. O'Reilly Jr., could not be here tonight, but he's asked me to stand in here and on behalf of our 98,000 plus citizens and all the employees of the city of Dearborn to welcome you, to tell you that we are deeply honored that you're here and that the world is a better place because you visited Dearborn. We have a saying here, one team, one mission, one Dearborn, and you've made us a stronger community today, so thank you and welcome.
Stein for that wonderful performance. At this time, I would like to invite the pastor of St. Sarkis Armenian Apostolic Church, Hrashapar, to the podium, please.
Նորին Սուրբ Օծություն դեր Արամ առաջին կաթողիկոս սրբազան հայրեր ոգեշնոր հայր Սուրբեր եւ սիրելի ժողովուրդ։ Բարի եկած եք բոլորը այս հիշադակելի պատմական արիթին ներկա գտնվելու։ Ուզեմ բարեկալուստի խոսքը սուղել վեհապար հոր, վեհապար դեր վերջին Ձեր երևումները, որ ունեցաք համաշխարհային բեմերեն, մեր ժողովրդի համար մեծ հպարտանք էր։ Մենք բոլորս ուրախ ենք, որ ձեզի պես ղեկավար ունենք, որ իսկապես ղեկավարը իր հոդը ոչ թե միայն խոսքով, այլ իր ամբողջ աշխատանքներով։ Եվ այդ բոլորին համար կուզեմ գաղութի կողմէ ձեզ մեր խորին շնորհակալությունները հայտնել։ Այս արիտով նաև վեհապար պիտի աղոթենք ձեր առողջության համար, ձեր երկար կյանքի համար, որպեսզի կարենաք այս ձեզ վստահված խոդը առաջնորդել դեպի հավիտենականություն։ Այս արիտով I just welcomed His Holiness and thanked him for all he does for our nation as Armenians. And in the past few weeks, we had a lot of parishioners who came close to ask questions that we can address and ask Vehapar and see what his response will be to all of our questions. And especially the first and main question comes to us, asking Vehapar about the 100th anniversary of the genocide and all the events that took place, and most especially the recent lawsuit that we heard about, that the Catholicosiate of Cilicia is raising a lawsuit against the Turkish government, asking for our rights, asking for our sees, Catholicosiate, the monastery and the cathedral. So what can you tell us, Your Holiness, how can you tell us more details about this lawsuit?
Let me give a brief and a clear answer to this question. I think we should not look at this, what is called the lawsuit, in a legal perspective, and in fact within a narrow context. It must be seen on a broader historical background and within the framework of the struggle of the Armenian people for their legitimate rights. In fact, our rights are violated. We went through a bitter experience of genocides. And genocide, according to international law, is a crime against humanity. This is what we are endeavoring to remind the international community, that the genocide has happened against the Armenian people. And it wasn't something by accident. It was a well-planned and systematically executed genocide against the Armenians by the Ottoman government of the time. In the last 100 years, we remembered our martyrs, and we worked hard for the recognition of this genocide. As you well know, some countries have formally accepted the genocide, and other countries have not yet accepted the genocide. And I firmly believe that sooner or later the international community as a whole will accept a genocide. A genocide is a genocide. Even if we try for different reasons, for different considerations, to label the genocide with different names, it is a genocide. This is what the history reminds us. Therefore, under 100 years, we taught, our church, the Catholic State of Cilicia taught, that it is a high time that we take a legal action. Thousands of Armenian churches and monasteries, religious sites, church-related, community-related, humanitarian, social, ecclesiastical centers, institutions have been confiscated by the government of Turkey. In view of this situation, as a church, as a nation, we cannot and we should not remain silent. These properties belong to our people. We should claim our ownership. This is what we should do it together. This is our problem. This is our cause. Therefore, we must continue this process. As I said in Washington, in the presence of the Vice President of this great country of the United States of America, that we are with reconciliation. But as you were just reminded, we are against a cheap reconciliation. Cheap reconciliation generates further injustice. And reconciliation means that those who have committed crime must accept the crime. And on the basis of these acceptance, forgiveness, that is to say, reconciliation process starts. And that is why Turkey should reconcile with its own past by accepting the genocide. Today, the officers know very well, if one person kills the other person, it's a crime. And all those who have committed crime must assume the responsibility, that is to say, accountability. And a nation, you see, has undergone this terrible experience of genocide. And that is why it is our expectation, as I said, that the international community, you see, formally accept the genocide, and recognition of genocide implies accountability, and accountability means reparation. Therefore, in conclusion, our lawsuit is not a case demanding a small parcel of land in Sis, in Turkey. No, I think we need to see it within a broader perspective. That should become the first legal step forward. We must continue this process. We want our churches and monasteries back. 2 years ago, the Congress of the United States of America passed a resolution, return of the confiscated churches of minorities in Turkey, and we are part of it. The government of Turkey should assume the responsibility by returning the confiscated churches of all minorities, in fact, including the Armenian community.